Silence! It's time! It's time! It's
time for another episode of the Drunk Dash Nerds podcast.
Can you dig it, sucker?
Grab a six-pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk Dash Nerds podcast. Grab a six-pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk Dash Nerds podcast. Grab a six-pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk Dash Nerds podcast. Grab a six-pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk Dash Nerds podcast. Sit back to the back of the back of the grab a six-pack, sit back to the back of the back of the grab a six-pack, sit back to the back of the back of the grab a six-pack, sit back to the back of the back of the grab a six-pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk Dash Nerds podcast.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 356 of the Drunk Dash Nerds podcast. I'm your host, as always. I'm Tyler. Join me with the man, the myth, the legend himself, Sir Colonel Gables. What's up, buddy?
I live.
So far.
That's pretty much what I pretty much wanted to share in that regards. But in all due seriousness, honestly, I'm feeling kind of good right at the moment. Having some time to myself, going through. It's kind of like one of those weird transitional periods, you know, where it's like I'm playing games. I'm actually going through and bouncing off a couple of different ideas that I've been wanting to do. Because I've been waiting until this type of a moment so that I could try to execute on a new project that I've wanted to start. You know, it's like when I try to think of projects, really, I kind of go through it's kind of like a process of elimination in my mind. Like, okay, what is something that I've always wanted to do? It's like, and one of the things that kind of popped up in my head is I want to try to start speedrunning something or speedrunning a game. I've always have had the mind that I've wanted to play a game to an extent where I would know almost every little bit of details about it. I've been fascinated in terms of watching speedruns go down. I mean, hell, one of my favorite events, you know, the Awesome Games Done Quick event, you know, with that and the Summer Games Done Quick. I'm absolutely fascinated by how these people can go through speedrun specific games that are either incredibly hard or in some cases of incredibly technical, and then just find little glitches, find little like inside like caveats and stuff like that in order to advance past a certain stage or access areas that they weren't able to begin with. One case and example is I got done watching a series of playthroughs by one person. Oh, sorry about that. All of a sudden my phone decided to pop on with fucking Siri. I'm like, God, really? Quit listening to my memos, Siri. Anyway. Okay. So basically, there's this one speedrunner that I was watching that it was recorded a couple months ago. She was going through all three of the Sonic the Hedgehog games, one after another. And it took her about 2 hours and 15 minutes to beat all three of the Sonic games. Now, granted, she has put in, I kid you not, maybe thousands of hours just trying to perfect all these different games. So the first two Sonic games were fairly quick, like about half an hour to about 40 minutes. But in terms of the final game, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, my gosh, there is so much technical stuff that inside that game, which I wasn't even fully aware of. I mean, I've never beaten Sonic the Hedgehog 3 on the Genesis or on any type of platform, but the intricacies of the level design and plus the geometry of like how you can actually go through and bypass certain things like stages and stuff is incredibly complex. And they kind of go through some bits of the steps of what she is doing, since she has like other commentators and stuff like that talking what she's trying to do on top of explaining to their Twitch chat and everything like how things are going. And oh man, let me just say, you know, it's like the boss battles, everything else about the game and stuff, all the little factoids and stuff. It's fairly interesting that you have groups of people that have dedicated themselves to play one game, and their sole purpose is to try to get the best times, learn the best skills and stuff. Just the whole point of it is to expand the enjoyment of the game past its limitations, you know? Kind of like, okay, what's this new strategy that's going to be coming up that's going to make this game being completed faster, you know? And it's like, yeah, it's been sort of like an interesting experience with that, which kind of led up to my kind of thoughts. It's like, you know what, I do want to speedrun a game, but at the same point, it's like, I am at a loss for what game I should try, because, well, being that I'm getting close to, 32 or whatsoever, I've been gaming for a hell of a long time, it is going to be an incredibly hard process of elimination.
Yeah.
But other than that, though, it's like I've just been playing little bits of like Animal Crossing and Doom Eternal, and that's just basically how my time has been going. So how about you, Tyler?
About the same. I got my copy of Doom digitally, so like it came up at 11 p.m. on Thursday night, and I was sitting there with the timer up. Courtney's sitting there staring at me as I'm staring at the thing, and I'm just like giggling to myself. I was like, oh yes, and she's just like, what have I done with my life? This is my life. Anyways,
I chose to.
Yeah, no, I've been doing the same thing. A lot of Doom, trying to stay inside. I was told Gables for the show, won't go into details, but might have been exposed to the coronavirus. A little scary to find that out.
Yeah.
So we are, Courtney's job shut down for a month, and then I'm not going back to work for a few days. So just trying to stay inside and not go crazy. So been playing a lot of Doom. We watched a bunch of movies. So yeah, it's been all right. And we're playing cards a lot too. Playing some domino. We bought some dominoes. Spent a shit ton of money at the grocery store. Got toilet paper. That's good.
Oh, there you go.
I probably shouldn't say that on the air because people might find out and figure out where I live. That'd be bad. The other day we were lucky and we found 2 things of toilet paper, and we came home. We were like bringing the groceries in. We're outside and we live in an apartment. She's just like, man, we got tons of toilet paper. She yelled it kind of loud. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Just announced it to the neighborhood. Oh, wow, we got this pyramid of toilet paper. And all of a sudden
Yeah,
you just hear
it's
this.
like, yeah, you might as well just say we got $1 million in cash in the closet right now, okay?
I
Like,
got $1 million
come on.
in my pockets right now. I
Yeah.
hope nobody steals it.
you trying to get us stabbed. This is how we get stabbed. So yeah, yeah. So it's been an okay week. Been a crazy week. Been sometimes depressing, sometimes anxiety riddled, sometimes pretty fun when you go on. There's some good shit coming out of it. You see some more of the shit like in Italy, people doing opera and shit on the fucking balcony every night, and the memes are pretty great. Memes are at peak, but I think it's because everybody's at home making peak memes right now.
God, making like balcony sort of things, singing to one another in their apartments, flashing each other inside the apartments.
Yeah.
It's kind of hilarious.
Yeah, it's great. Like all these other countries look at and they're like doing all these cool like get together things. Here we are fucking fighting over goddamn toilet paper. So
I know, right?
yeah,
America.
woohoo, America. Fuck
America,
yeah.
where a freaking ass wipe is more important than what we eat.
And also not killing people by exposing themselves to deadly viruses.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been okay, like I said, just been chilling at the house a lot. The dogs are happy. They love it because they want to cuddle and play and take them for a walk every day. So that's nice.
You
We
guys
just
are
walk
home
around the
more
apartment. Yeah, we have a decent sized apartment complex. So we take them for walks around there, and we're pretty dog friendly around here. So they love that, going for walks and smell all the smells and shit. They haven't been able to smell since the winters. It's been a winter. It sucks. Winter sucks. But yeah, I don't know. Doing the odds and ends of that shit. So not too crazy. I mean, but that's life for the next few weeks, couple months. Who knows? Of everything, especially when there's no sports to watch. But the cool, there's been some cool shit going on. With like the movies that were in movie theaters. Like now they're putting them. You can rent them for $20.
Yep.
So that's been pretty badass. Like I've been liking that a lot. We ran a couple of those. We watched Contingent the other day. It's from like 2011. It's a movie about if a deadly virus were to happen.
Let's watch a movie about that. Let's take our minds off the world at hand, and all of a sudden it's like, yeah, it's a virus movie.
We got like halfway through this movie, and like it's not super realistic because like that one was like way more deadly virus, and it leads to like apocalyptic, like Last of Us style without the zombies.
God.
But I'm just like, man, this is hitting a little harder than I thought it would. Like I was like, let's watch it. I was watching it kind of sarcastically, whatever. And it's like actually been like one of the most watched shows, like movies and stuff, like non-new releases for a couple months now in like the United States. Like a lot of people are renting it and shit like that. So I'm like, fuck it, let's rent it. And like I heard it's supposed to be a pretty good movie. I'm just like, it's a pretty good movie, but it's just like it's too soon.
Do you want
Too
to
soon.
complete this? Do you want to watch this?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just like, what's up? What you want to watch Shrek? Let's watch Shrek. That's way funnier. Let's do that.
Honey, I
So
need a palate cleanser after this. Let's put on the Care Bears movie.
yeah, you know what? That's not. We're here soon. We're gonna run out of shit to watch. That might be our option.
Just start showing her like movies of your youth.
Yeah. Oh, well, I've been trying to get her to watch Space Jam for over a year now, and it's just
Jesus
not working.
Christ.
I love Space Jam. It's a great movie.
Oh no, it is a great movie. I got the soundtrack of that damn movie too.
Dude, I do too. That was my
That
first.
soundtrack, dude.
It's a great soundtrack. I know. I bought it again on iTunes like 5 years ago. It's fucking brilliant.
I've had my fucking copy of like Space Jam, that album, for like, oh god, it's gotta be since like the mid 2000s. And I got it like new at a fucking Walmart, and I'm like,
Nice.
oh god.
I remember. I probably told the story long before, but like I remember when like CD players were like kind of like became affordable, like the
Yeah.
mid '90s, and my parents bought me a CD player, and they bought me 2 albums. They bought me the Queen's Greatest Hit album, which is I think the main reason why they're probably my favorite band of all time, and they bought me the Space Jam soundtrack, and they bought me Space Jam on VHS. So like, yeah, so that's a big reason why I still love that movie. Oh man, it's so good.
Dude,
So
that's,
good.
that's a hell of a lot
listened
better.
to it.
Dude, that's a hell of a lot better of a freaking gift when when you got your first CD player. You know what happened when I got my first CD player? You want to know the albums that my mom ended up getting me?
What? Fleetwood Mac. It's Fleetwood Mac, isn't it?
1998.
Oh fuck, I'm sorry.
What's the most popular music at the time?
NSYNC.
That's one,
Backstreet Boys.
and that's the other.
Yeah. You know what? I'm not gonna make fun of you because I had both those albums. I got both those albums that year for Christmas too.
But
And there's
I'll
nothing
tell
wrong
you
with that.
what, my first actual album that I got, that I still have to this very day, is Santana Supernatural.
That's
back from
pretty good.
2001.
That balances it out.
I got it at a Costco. I've had that freaking CD ever since, and that is an amazing album from beginning to end.
No, it's a good album. But no. I mean, but there's nothing wrong with NSYNC and Backstreet Boys. Like I'll still fucking break it on down to a goddamn I want it that way. I don't fucking care. I'm not sure. my first concert ever, and I know I've told this before, NSYNC.
Man, I'll tell you what, man. First concert I think I've ever gone to, oh god, it was for a acapella group, and that was in high school. And they were called Ball in the House. And basically they weren't too bad. I actually sang along with them too in terms of
Nice.
my choral group at the time, and this was like back in the mid 2000s. So I had like 2 of their albums and stuff, and basically went through. And I was in a jazz ensemble group at the time as well in high school, so it's like did a little bit of like singing this and that. But yeah, it was fun. They were kind of impressed the way I was getting into the music and stuff. But you just see
fun fact,
high school Gables going through and just like breaking it down.
I'd love to see that. Fun fact: I was the 6th NSYNC member that night at that concert.
Oh my god.
I was not. Gables taught me once again on first concert. I was in the concert, so I'm like, fuck, I gotta top him somehow. I danced with Justin Timberlake. Lance Bass,
my god.
best friends.
But dude,
still talk. I get a Christmas card from Lance Bass every year.
Get a Christmas card from Lance Bass every year. He's like come from space, like, hey Tyler, wish you were here.
Also, good friends with Mario Lopez.
Oh my god.
Saved by the Bell, for people I don't know.
Which is probably a lot of our audience.
AC Slater. AC Slater. Wow, I fucked that up.
Slater.
Oh, man. Always a big Slater guy. Fuck Screech.
Oh
What are we doing here, man?
Dude, I have no freaking clue. All I know right now is that probably a bunch of our freaking fan base that are listening that are probably inside their early 20s, like, what the fuck is a Saved by the Bell?
What the fuck is NSYNC? What is a Lance Bass?
And so they're gonna go on the Google images. It's like, oh, that's what it is.
I'm sorry. That's not something that he should be bragging about. Why is he bragging about that, people? Why is he bragging about dancing with Lance Bass? That's not good.
Well, the average listener of the Drunk Dash Nerds podcast is just trying to research the terms that we're coming up with and stuff in sort of pop culture, like we're some sort of ancient dudes, just like
the average listener is like fast forwarding until they get to the Doom part. That's probably what they're doing. Like,
probably.
They're still talking about Lance Bass. It's 17 minutes in.
Oh my god.
Good times, man. Good times. This is what happens when you're in quarantine in the house and you only get to talk to like 3 people
Oh God.
every fucking week. Is you're just so excited to talk to somebody else. You're talking about like fucking Lance Bass. So I might at the end of this podcast, I might be talking to Lance Bass. Who knows? It'd be good times. Good times. But anyways, gaming podcast. This is what we do here. What do we want to do here, Gabe? Do you want to do news? We want to do some gaming shit first.
Let's go ahead and just do our gaming stuff, because I think that's much more exciting to talk about right in this moment.
All right, cool. So we both played Doom, so we'll talk about that second.
All right.
But you have been playing Animal Crossing, so tell me about that.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. When I got my games last Friday, it was such a fun thing because it's like I started that Friday. I think it was that Friday evening, or that Friday night, or whatsoever. And so basically, what Animal Crossing is in and of it is in a nutshell, it's kind of like a relaxing sort of. It's sort of like a home simulator. What I mean by that is like, it's kind of like that kind of lax game that you want to play in between when you're playing another big major game, which is why I bought both Animal Crossing New Horizons and Doom Eternal at the same time. Because I figured, okay, if I want to go down and after I'm done slewing like hordes of demons and this and that and stuff like that, I want to go through and I want to play something like a palate cleanser. And so here I am playing some Animal Crossing. So for this game, it's different than what was a New Leaf, because a New Leaf, you were the mayor of this particular town, but now you are on a like deserted island, pretty much. So Tom Nook and all of his other friends, misfits and crazies, established themselves over in this sort of this island getaway sort of package. And so here you are, you come to the island, you sign up for the whole thing, and your responsibility as the representative of your island, which I appropriately gave the nickname to my island, the Falcor Island. And I quintessentially am responsible to go through and collect things like bugs, fossils, resources, and everything else in order to create different types of buildings, like, say, to create different shops, do a whole bunch of different, tasks and stuff like that to complete the museum aspect, because there's this one villager by the name of Blathers, who is an owl who collects everything from fossils. He assesses the fossils first before you give them to him, but he accepts donations of fish and insects, and he really hates his insects, apparently. And when it comes to the main hook of this game, is something called Nook Miles. Now, inside of the game, you're constantly doing something that's beneficial. And what I mean by that, you can go through, if you're catching bugs, catching fish, hell, even if something is like spending bells in order to buy something, it all counts towards specific categories inside of your Nook Mile, like achievement sort of like lists sort of things. So as you're going through and completing these basic like goals and everything, and a lot of the same ones, I will say right now, do repeat themselves. It gives you that feeling of satisfaction because you're accomplishing this, and every time you accomplish something, you get a set amount of Nook Miles that gets added onto your total. And so, what do you use these Nook Miles for? So apparently you can use it for a couple of different things. One, you can go through and replenish them to buy specific types of guides in order to expand your inventory slot. Make things more convenient for you to switch between your tools, which I've gotten both of those already. And in terms of, say, getting a ticket, like an island resort sort of ticket, so that you can also get flown out by the I think it was like the AFL or something like that, this animal, this airline things conducted by these two, I think they're pelicans or something like that are like flight attendants or whatsoever, the pilots that fly across and stuff to deserted islands. And so basically why you do that is they take you to these specific spots where you're going to get resources that are not present on your island. Say like new villagers you can recruit, like new types of flowers, animals, fruit. I started off with my island with just having pears. And honestly, after going through a couple of these islands, now I have a bunch of coconuts. And my trees they take a few days to grow, and so I got coconuts, and then on top of that, inside the mail, I end up getting like from the mom character, I think, inside the game, she sends you like this letter and stuff, and attaches a bunch of oranges, and so I'm like, okay, I got 3 types of fruits now. I need to get some more fruits. I need to get some more things, because quintessentially, if you get other fruits, if you try to like get other fruits from like other places, you could use that to sell to get more bells and just create sort of like a more finite of an resource. So quintessentially, what pretty much Animal Crossing New Leaf is in a nutshell is it's pretty much a game of resource management, kind of similar to what you would do for a Stardew Valley, like a Harvest Moon. The things that are different about this game, it feels more accessible. It feels more of a big old accomplishment every time that I freaking go through and sell something to Tom Nook, or if I buy something. Case in point, if I'm going through and I'm creating something at Tom Nook's craft table, every time that I complete an item, him and his son keep on applauding me like every time I create things.
They're just wonderful people.
It's not just that though. It's just those little quibs, those little quibs, that little happiness quibs and stuff like that that kind of like encourage you to go through and create more, and do more inside that game. At this point, this feels much more exciting than what I was playing through with New Leaf. And I'll tell you what, Animal Crossing New Leaf was not a bad game at all. As a matter of fact, it was far from it. I spent a good solid 50 hours playing that game, and there was a bunch of the same thing that I was doing there, but it does not have that sort of achievement sort of system like the Nook Mile things do. I mean, you could go through and collect fruit. You can go through and craft more weapons in Animal Crossing.
That'd be awesome. Isabel's just walking around the BFG.
Oh my god. Well, she got to take care of those tarantulas somehow. Anyway.
Maybe a little bit of overkill, but whatever.
But I'll tell you what, you can actually get hurt inside of this game to the point where you can actually, if you actually get hit by something like, say, a tarantula, get bit by one of them, you actually die and go back to a specific point, like, say, like to your house or to Tom Nook's residence. But, oh my gosh. I'll tell you what, though. The tools, there are 3 types of tools, from flimsy to more like a stone type of tools, and then you have the best ones apparently so far. And I'll tell you what, I'm going through a lot of tools. I'm going through and I'm breaking a whole lot of tools. And what's kind of funny is that the game also keeps track of how many tools you break, and they kind of increase the meter and they give you more points based upon how much you're using and abusing. And what's kind of funny is there's actually this little bits of hidden secrets as well that you're not going to know. Like, for example, if you go through and take your shovel and start hitting these big old boulders and stuff like that in a sequence and stuff, you can actually get all these resources, these iron nuggets, these clays, these little bits of rocks that you can use for resources. And you can actually use them to help build other shops and stuff. Like today, I just got done just going through and creating the Nook Boys as a shop. So they're going to be having that hopefully probably by tomorrow, if not maybe Thursday or whatsoever. But man, I'll tell you what, the more I play of Animal Crossing New Horizons, the more I'm finding to enjoy about it. And I'll tell you what, this is the type of game that I could sink a lot of time into. And I will probably sink a lot of time into this. I mean, hell, if I can go and take a game like Fire Emblem 3 Houses and spend almost about 170 hours playing that damn game through 3 separate playthroughs, a game like Animal Crossing with that type of much stuff to do, oh shit, here we goes the neighborhood. But let's see. But one thing I've been noticing is not just myself, but a whole hell of a lot of my friends have been playing Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And most of them are girls, and it's kind of hilarious. Not to say anything bad or anything about it. I'm just kind of noticing a lot of them. I just noticed a lot of the people that I mostly come into contact with, there's a lot of guys that have been playing Animal Crossing New Horizons, say on my friends list and stuff for the Switch and this and that, and then a lot of girls that I know in real life and stuff like that, they've been playing a lot of it as well. But it's not that the fact that it's a bad thing. Actually, it's a very good thing, because I love how diverse, actually, how much this game has actually influenced people to go out and buy it. Because this game is one of the very few that will bring in everybody in terms of the enjoyment and the fun factor and stuff. But what's kind of funny is a whole bunch of my friends too have been trying to skip around days with the Switch's internal clock and try to do that. And I actually warned one friend over her Discord. It's you know what? I know you're gonna burn out. And she's like, nah. It's yeah, you're gonna burn yourself out. Because here's the thing. The type of the type of gamers that go through the Animal Crossing and stuff, they're going to burn themselves out a hell of a lot quicker if they're going to zoom past days and stuff like that and then try to just speed up the process. Because a lot of the things about Animal Crossing New Horizons is it takes a good solid couple days in order to sometimes get things going to that extent. It's more or less the type of game where, hey, you want to complete your daily goals, you want to do this and that and stuff. Hey, that's fun, that's okay. But come back to it later. There's no stress to get everything else like gone through quickly or this or that. And then you have the people that play the opposite reason, that want to speed through everything in order to try to get all the little goods as fast as they can. You know, it's an instant gratification thing.
Yeah, I don't get that. Like, what's like? Hey, let's try and play through this game. Like I mean, I understand. Like, I get to a little sense where like there's only so much you can do a day, and you want to keep playing. But it's like I don't just understand like.
Especially
speed racing to the end,
dude. Especially when there is no end to this type of a game.
Yeah, but I mean, like speed racing through, like you get all you collect everything, and like, well, I mean, there is credits. I've heard that people have like said that there's credits.
There's credits.
So
inside of Animal Crossing.
So something happens. I don't know how you get there, obviously, because I haven't played the game. I'm definitely in one of those cases where like I have that FOMO, that's fear of missing out.
Yeah.
For people that don't know. And I get that a lot with games, and I've tried to be better about that. Like, where I'm not gonna like this game, but I buy it anyways. And I play it for a couple hours, and I just stop playing it. And I know that's gonna be the case with this game, but fuck, man, I really want to play this goddamn game. Like, oh god damn it! But I know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna play it for like 4 or 5 days, for maybe an hour or so a day. I'm like, what the? I'm gonna sit there like, what the fuck am I doing? I don't want to do this shit in real life. Why the fuck am I doing on this game?
Like, the game does something that in real life I wish I would have more motivation and stuff to do. It actually makes it work and more enjoyable.
Yeah. Knowing my luck, because I'm really bad at like cleaning and just wanting to do things around the house. Like, Cornel will get me on a lot, like, about like, hey, can you like vacuum or something? Like, or pick up your area at least. Like, there's wrappers and there's cups and shit. Can you like, at least pick it up? Like, if she sees me do that shit in a fucking video game, my ass is grass, okay? So, like, I can't play this game around her. So, I can't even play Doom around her because she makes fun of me the whole fucking time. Because I'm like, fuck, shit, damn it. So, I can't even do that. Like, I know for a fact, this is just, I'm just asking for trouble at that point. So, like, fuck that, you know, fuck that. But I don't know. Like, it's really cool. Like, I love seeing that. Like, you don't see that too often with games. Like, you see, like, you know, like, maybe once a year, like there's a good chunk of your like your people on like the way my Twitter and shit, and like even like Facebook to a certain extent is designed like we're like, oh, like a lot of people are like, oh, a good chunk of people are like talking about God of War or whatever, but it's just like, no, like everybody is talking about Animal Crossing.
Like
people I didn't even know play
experience.
games. Yeah,
Yes.
like there's people I didn't even know played video games are talking about Animal Crossing. And I'm just like, yeah, I spent 15 hours a day playing Animal Crossing. I'm like, what? You play games?
I've gotten
like, really?
so many responses in terms of people in real life, and also in terms because everybody found out at work that I wanted to get Animal Crossing New Horizons, that I want to go through and like get Doom Eternal and stuff. And I have people literally just like saying, it's like, man, I'm looking forward to playing Animal Crossing as well. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. Then all of a sudden the people that I would not expect say, hey, I want to play this too. It's like, what?
Yeah.
It's like that type of, it's that wholesome togetherness that I love about the Animal Crossing community. Because the thing about it is it's basically a game for almost everyone where it's open-ended. You don't have to race through everything. It's more or less like, hey, do you want to go through and create specific things and model a town or something or an island after what you want? It's like, you can do that. You can create the jingle for your island. You can do that. You want to go through and then like have an app where you can design your own clothes and all the other types of pixel stuff, which, by the way, I did that. I actually
That's fucking sweet. I love that stuff.
Dude, I actually got the app from Tom Nook that allows me to create my own pixel designs. And that photo I put on Facebook, that painting of that Tanuki Mario, I made that.
That's awesome. That's cool. Yeah, I love seeing like some people did like the painting from Ghostbusters 2 is in there.
God.
Like there's some like I've seen a lot of cool shit people post.
Oh man, you are gonna love the pixel stuff I'm gonna be coming up with, dude. It's gonna be fun. There's a project I'm working on right now, but it's a little bit like detailed, so I'm taking my time with it.
Yeah, that's badass. I love that shit. Like the stuff coming out of it, and like that's the thing. That's like making it a little harder. like right now, it's just like fuck, man. Like it's so cool. Like it's not just like this is a great game that everybody's talking about. It's just a game that's like it's a great game, and it's so fucking positive. And like especially now with everything that's going on in the world.
Oh yeah.
Like I like oh man, that'd be fucking great. Like
this game
fucking,
released at the right time for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, like I'm playing Doom where like the earth is destroyed and I'm just like, huh. Like damn. I mean, obviously different equations. One's hell on earth, the other one is well, I guess the other one's like hell on earth too. But just people suck. But yeah, I don't know. Fuck man. It's just you need that positive vibes in the world right now. And it's like it's cool like going on Twitter and Facebook and you're seeing like all these people like the shit they made and like the stupid things they're doing in their like with their islands. I'm just like, God damn it, I want that. You know?
Oh no shit.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome. I'm jelly. Extremely.
But honestly, other than that, I played a little bit of Dead by Daylight this morning. And so basically I sort of like am at that role and stuff where I've actually been watching one of these YouTubers and stuff play through Dead by Daylight. I've been going on her stream and stuff. I'll give her a little bit of shout out. She is like, she goes on Twitch by the name of @thevirtuosa, and she's really fun. She has a group of her friends or something like that she loves playing Dead by Daylight, and she plays that. She plays Call of Duty Modern Warfare and stuff, but she has been on Twitter, you know, like going through and liking a lot of my comments about Dead by Daylight and this and that. And that's what got me a little bit interested in checking out her stream. And so I've been doing that. But the reason why I wanted to bring up a little bit of Dead by Daylight is I've just been playing a little bit more of it on the PS4. There's actually rumors and possibilities that the game could possibly be cross-compatible, you know, but cross-platform. So I would like that, especially if, as a matter of fact, I could probably transfer a lot of my data from Steam onto the fucking PS4 because I am not going to re-level up every single character that I got on Steam. I put 80 hours in that damn game. I'm not going to go through and freaking, like, redo a lot of that same crap because the game developers don't want to freaking flip the switch.
Yeah, I think the cross, like, what is that called? Like, when you can, like, take over your stats and everything. Like, I'd rather have, if I can choose between one or the other, like, I'd rather have that.
Yeah.
Than like the cross play.
Oh yeah, no shit. No shit. But what I will say is like I've had a match today and I actually uploaded a clip on it to Twitter. And I'm sure you probably can track this down though. This is like about a minute and a half, right? So I start this game. And me and my teammate are someone working on a generator. And so I see a Michael Myers player coming towards us. And so I go through and I sneak across, right? And so basically I see him getting chased by this Michael Myers, and I wait over there. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to wait over here by this pallet, because as soon as he comes over there, I'm going to go through, and I'm going to let him have it with his pallet. And so basically I'm in the middle right here, right? And so my teammate goes behind me. He knows I'm there, and he flips down the goddamn pallet and pushes me right in front of the killer. And so the killer stops dead in his tracks. He looks at me. I look at him, and I do the motion. I point to my teammate, and I just run to the left. And as soon as I did that, the killer went towards my teammate and fucking took him out and hooked him. And you know the most hilarious part about that match? I actually worked with my other teammates and we escaped from that match. I got about a good solid 20,000 freaking blood points throughout that damn thing. And what did my teammate do? He got hooked twice and he disconnected. He fucking quit the match. Well, if you're not a dick to your teammates, maybe you wouldn't be getting toxic hung.
Teamwork makes dream work.
No shit. But I just wanted to go through and just like put that up into view because I thought that was pretty hilarious. Other than that, you know, I had a bunch of like killers like today that were just basically just being assholes, you know. Had one extent where like a spirit player knocked me down. I was the last person, you know, like alive and stuff. And he let me crawl all the way and stuff like that until like for a good solid minute or two. I'm like, dude, you could have just picked me up and hung me and it just got that game over with. But no, he had to go through and try to rub in my face a little bit, you know, just kind of toxic people in general.
Yeah.
I mean, survivors and killers do that in this online game, but at the same point, I'm like, dude, it's a fucking game. You don't have to razz people. You don't have to be a complete dick about it. But at the same point, it feels funny just to go through and just like shove it into people's face. Like, hey, you want to be toxic about this? Here you go.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Karma's a bitch.
But let's get into the meat and potatoes of this. Doom Eternal.
fucking Doom Eternal, baby. Let's talk about it. Where you at? I want to know where you're at. How far are you in this?
I'll be perfectly honest with you, man. Between work that I was doing and a little bit of Animal Crossing, I have played through the entirety of like the first level of Doom Eternal.
You fucking up life,
But-
Gables. Come on now. God
Dude,
damn it.
dude, I have been playing it. It's not like I haven't been playing it, because I know you'd be on my ass if I hadn't even touched it yet.
Son of a
But,
bitch.
no, dude. But that's the thing about it. I've played through the first level in regards to that, and I've been checking out a lot of the codex stuff, and I took my time with this damn level.
Oh, yeah,
because
I've been doing the same
reading
thing, too. Yeah.
Reading the codex, going through, checking out the items and stuff, and there's so many different difficulty levels to start out with. And you can
Yes, there is.
dude, not only that, but there's actually a checkpoint where you can go way back to the beginning of the damn level, so you can get all the little intricacy little like collectibles and this and that before you
Yeah.
can even end the damn thing.
I love
Oh my
that.
God, I haven't even gotten any of the toys yet from that damn stuff. But what makes me so excited about playing this game and why I've been loving my experience so far is it's just the fact that I got so many options to do these execution style kills and stuff. Like say for the Kako Demon, right? That big old floating mass and stuff like that. It literally tells you, it's like, hey,
Yes.
if you toss a grenade into its mouth, or even like go through
sticky bomb.
like a sticky bomb inside the damn thing's mouth, it'll go through and flash stuff like that, and you can go through and execute it, take its eyeball, shove it down its throat, do all this random stuff. But what's fantastic about this game so far, it's like it gets you inside this big old adrenaline rush, even more so in the beginning part of Doom 2016. And it's awesome. You see how these groups of 40 or 50 enemies just like crowding towards you. And the biggest surprise about this game, even from like powering up from the get-go, HDR compatible. Right from the
Yes.
get-go.
Oh, my God. It's beautiful.
I saw that pop up, and I saw how smooth the game was going, even on my 4K TV. And even though my console isn't like complete 4K, it's up-res to it. But at the same point, the game looks gorgeous. There's so much of this dystopian stuff, you know, all this like massive like Armageddon style things on Earth. But man, I love the cutscene that I got through so far by going through the first level with those three oh my God, these three hell priests and stuff like that. And then when you
Yes.
take on the first hell priest and you rip off his head, and all of a sudden they're like, how did a human get inside here? You just toss the damn skull over to them. It's like, oh, wait a minute.
I love when you cut his head off and you fix his crown so it's straight. Like, it's just like little things like that. I love.
It's that type of absurdity I'm loving about it, because it's like I can tell it took so much time adjusting the little details about this game, just from like the little quirks, let's say like Master Chief adjusting the freaking like crown and stuff on the freaking Hell Priest's head, and even so much of like how, unlike Doom 2016, you can actually, I think this is how you do it, you can actually go through to the different types of bots, and you don't have to spend points in order to upgrade for like mods. You can actually just unlock some of the mods just from the get-go, apparently, like one or twice or something. Man, I'm not too sure about that, but from what I've played through so far, it kind of felt like the case where I went through one of those little like bots and stuff that have the modifications for your weapon. Choose that, and then I did the same thing like with the assault rifle sort of weapon and stuff. But I can tell you what, man, it's like even though I'm going through and I'm using my chainsaw to replenish ammo and everything else, I'm running out of ammo a lot.
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely. I've definitely had a few cases where like I've ran out of ammo and I don't have any. Like there's no more like the guys you just the people are just there. You use to replenish your health and ammo, and I'm like there's no more around, and I'm like I got like 3 shotgun shells left, and nobody to like I can easy kill for fucking ammo. So it's like, well, guess I'm gonna die. Like I gotta die and start all over again.
I'll tell you what, though. I haven't died yet playing this game, but what's kind of hilarious about this, it's like, I have been inside situations where I've been at low health or almost next, like the nun and stuff, and all of a sudden I just use my chainsaw, get my health back up, and all of a sudden I just start going through, and the best part about what I've played through so far is there's so many different ways to tackle these big old hordes of enemies, from like the whole shooting up points of like the launchers and this and that, and then like finding a whole bunch of the random secrets. But one thing I've been trying to get adjusted to is using the R3 button in order to attach those stupid like climbs and stuff. Because my instinct is, okay, jump on it, I'll automatically get to it. But if you do that, you're going to fall down. So it's like R3, stick to it. And it's like,
No, that's definitely been like, I'm like on level 6 or 7 right now. and that's still a frustration point to me. Because if you dash into it, you automatically grab it. So there's times I've dashed, but I didn't dash far enough, so I didn't automatically grab it. So then I fall and I die, and I'm like, fuck, and I got this whole guy like that. That's like my one like thing I really don't like about this game is they've definitely put a lot more emphasis on the platforming, and like I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. It's definitely a part like where everything else about this game is perfect, and that part stands out to me. Like it's okay.
I mean,
but,
yeah,
like,
there were certain platforming elements inside of Doom 2016, and they were okay.
Yeah.
Inside of what I played in Doom Eternal so far, in regards to platforming, it's been okay as well. I definitely have to get used to the whole pressing the R3, attaching yourself to climbable things, but that's just like a little minor detail that I can think of personally. On top of that, you know, it's like, it really feels different just going on top of, like, say, the Earth and doing this and that and stuff instead of being, oh god, like transferring between like a big old space station inside of Doom 2016 and all of a sudden the remnants of hell. It just feels like that the open-endedness of like being on side of like a big old, I think it was like a city or something, or a base, an army base or something like that, and you're just outside. It just feels kind of weird to me. So all of a sudden,
Yeah.
but yeah, I haven't even encountered any types of relics yet, or a bunch of like the different types of toys that I know are hidden throughout. I know there's like probably 2 toys that are hidden throughout.
Yeah,
each
like
level.
every level has like 20 hidden things you can find.
Let me ask you though, have you beaten this game yet?
No, I don't know how far I'm definitely on like level 6 or 7. I don't know how many levels there are, but I feel like I'm halfway, if not 3/4 of the way.
Dude, I get the feeling this is gonna be a long ass game.
Yeah, I've heard it's like 20 hours to beat this game, and I'm taking my time too because I'm trying to find everything, and I'm at least trying to find all the upgradable stuff because there's a lot more upgradables. Like there used to be just upgrade your weapons and upgrade your suit and how much you can carry stuff, things like that.
You know, the thing I love most about one of the things I love about this game, you know, is like the lore, the story elements of it. You take your time and you read that stuff. It's very fascinating, and I don't understand why they couldn't go through and explain like a lot of the different stuff inside, maybe various cutscenes or this and that. But then again, the main focus of what they were trying to go through is fast-paced action, like Doom is known for, without a lot of dialogue going through it. But
and I agree. Like I'd love to have more of that, but I get like it's a tough balance where it's like I like to have that in front of me more so than like me have to go like make sure I go read these codexes and stuff like that. But I'm the same way. I've been stopping and reading all the codexes, learn all the shit about what's going on, what's happening. But yeah, I love it like to like be able to just like can keep going. And like, but also knowing like, but like I said, it's tough balance. You know, it's like, do you want to listen to voice recordings while you're fighting? You know, like you don't want that because you're like it's distracting. So I get like they're in a tough balance of like if you really like the main shit, it's right there for you. Like we're gonna talk to you about. But if you want to know everything else that's going on, read the codexes, which I'm fine with. Like
right.
I think this is the better of the 2 options. Rather than having a 10-minute cutscene, just have more gameplay.
Yeah, that is
and
the
then
better
you can
option.
spend 10 minutes reading this instead. So yeah, but like no, I love this one a lot more because like the platforming I'm not loving, but it's not that big of a deal. But like I'm loving this one a lot more. Like they talk about the first game, like just Doom in general. It's like it's like first person shooter chess, and it's like you gotta it's more strategy. It's not like a Call of Duty or anything like that where it's like all right, well shoot this guy, duck, shoot this guy. Oh, I'm about to die, duck, hide, and wait. But it's the same. It's faster. Like the first game we always talk about, you stop, you die, and that's a big thing about this game is that you just gotta keep moving no matter what. It's fucking cocaine gaming is what it is, and
but I like how intelligent this game is too.
Yeah, it's not like just mindless shooting. Like it's like you learn like to like, and they tell you like they kind of throw it in your face too. But like you learn to like the first game you can just like, and even they even talked about it. It was kind of fascinating. I listened to like some one of the main directors of the game. He like did a couple of podcasts. I was listening to him talk about it because I've seen a couple of documentaries about Doom 2016 and stuff like that. And they talked about like the big issues they found with the first game was a lot of people just you got the double shotgun and 80% of the game you're just going through with the double shotgun and killing people and that was it. And it's like in this one like you can still kind of do that if you want, but like there's a lot more. But you can be a lot better if you like mix it up a little bit more. And that's something because like that's the thing I did in the first game was like I'd say half the time I was using the shotgun, and the other half I was like. I was switching. I had like 3 or 4 main weapons that I stuck to, and then
I think I had like
once
about,
I ran out.
I think in terms of Doom 16, I think I have like 2 weapons I switched across. maybe the third one being like the Gauss rifle and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
in 2016,
that was,
the Doom 2016, it was like shotgun, like super shotgun, and then like the Gauss
plasma
rifle.
cannon. Yeah, same. Yeah, I get that because that was kind of like those are like the most powerful weapons. In this one, it's like the weapons are built to tackle certain enemies. Like they even tell you go look in the codexes like, hey, this enemy's weak to this, or like some enemies have like shields, and it's like if you use the plasma cannon on them, you shoot the shield down with the plasma cannon, it'll actually cause an explosion and it'll kill enemies around them. And it's like there's fighting strategy, and like now enemies have weak points, so it's like the like so the cockademon, like you can shoot grenades in his mouth and it'll blow up, and you get pretty much almost an immediate glory kill. The other ones you can shoot off like the spiders, you can shoot off their cannons, and like I'm blanking all of the demons' name, but the ones that fly around that have 2 rockets on their arms or on their shoulders, you can shoot the rockets off, and they have to become melee people. It's like so now it's like you're in this big fight and there's a bunch of people around you. It's like, well, okay, so I want to make this a little more up close. I don't want to get attacked from afar. So you go and you just run up and you shoot. You take out their long distance cannons, and then you take out the guys in front of you because now he's a melee guy. Same with the spiders, and it's just like it's totally become a different game where it's like now I'm constantly switching between weapons. It's almost like when I play Madden in a way where it's like I start to play, I zoom out, I read the defense. I'm like, okay, so I have a general idea. This guy's playing press coverage. This guy's playing, he's playing off a little bit. All right, well, I'll switch it up. So I have an idea when I'm going into the battle, what I'm going to do. And when the play starts, it's like, okay, well, there's a blitz coming out of nowhere. It's like, all right, now I totally switched up my game. And it's like I'm playing it in that Madden mindset. Where it's like, okay, here comes a fucking goddamn spider. I mean, it's way more challenging, but it's like I'm playing that same mindset where it's like I'm reading the field, I'm reading the coverage, and it's just like I love that. Where I'm like I'm fucking nail like when you nail it, it feels fantastic. I have cussed more playing this game than I've ever cussed probably playing a game since the last Doom, but it's been and there's been multiple times where I'm just like I'm playing it like because there's like these you get this purple key, I can't remember what they're called, but there's these gates you can open up. You can like you earn like more points for your suits and batteries to unlock stuff at the Fortress of Doom where you go in between levels, and like there's like extra like waves of enemies you can fight, and there's like this I can't remember, it's like the purple ones though, and you fight them and it's just a way more challenging wave of enemies. Like you're fighting multiple bigger like heavy demons and stuff too. And I'm just like I was playing one today. I'm just like I'm audibly like what the fuck, man? Like there's like 6 of them coming at me. I'm like, are you fucking kidding? What? There's more of them? And I'm like, oh my god. And then I turn around and like I see 3 more pop from me. Like, fuck me. It's like I'm loving this game. It's so goddamn challenging, but it is testing my patience, which I love. Like, but it's that same thing where it's like I die, but it's not my fault, or it's my fault. It's not their fault. It's my fault. Like, okay, cool. It's like now I know how to attack them a little better. Now I know it's coming, so I'm gonna get a little bit. It's like I was playing that Blood Roots the other day. It's like you learn to attack them in a pattern, and then you get that pattern and you attack them, but you just don't stop. You just gotta keep fucking moving. You can't stop. Like Blood Roots, same thing. I kept playing that game, Blood Roots, right before this might have been a good thing because it's a fast-paced game, and you gotta stay on top of that shit. And it's the same thing in this, where it's like like I said, you stop, you die. And it took me a little bit. That first couple levels, I was dying a lot, like a lot more in the sense that like. Not because there were so many enemies that coming at me, but I was just like, I'm moving for the sake of moving, you know, like I know I can't stop, you know, I gotta keep moving, so I'm just moving, but with no plan of attack. I'm just fucking scattering around, dashing around, jumping all over the place like a madman, just holding down the R2 button, shooting like crazy with no plan of attack, you know. And it's like now if I'm playing it, I'm 6 levels in, it's fucking hard as shit because there's more enemies, more big bosses, and they've thrown a lot more new enemies at me, but it's like. I am learning to like, all right, I'm dashing, but there's a reason for my dash, you know, like there's a reason for my stuff. And you get more power ups, you get stronger, add more abilities. Like it totally changes the way I play this game. So I'm loving the fuck out of this game. Like it is, definitely like it feels like a good progression of it's not, it's more Doom, which is what I wanted. And they've added a little bit more to it, which I love quite a bit. Like, and yeah, it's great. Like the hook shot thing was a big thing they talked about. I'm not really using the hook shot. You get it with the double shotgun. I'm not using that as much as they kind of pushed it in the like the preview stuff. But yeah, oh man, I fucking love it. I adore this game. It is exactly what I wanted.
It is much more of an intelligently evolved form of Doom. Definitely.
Yeah.
It definitely kind of makes me feel like... it definitely makes me kind of feel like that I want to go through and just kind of like dissect the game really from like what each different types of enemy like waves that are going through, you know, and just it makes me think more methodically about the choices that I use. And you were bringing up good points in terms of how you have to kind of strategize what weapon goes through and takes out which enemy, which inside the tutorials and stuff for like those little spider drone things with the freaking guns on their top of their heads and stuff, you have to use that zoom option, that modification with your assault rifle in order to try to get that thing destroyed and like go through and to just damage the brain portions of that damn thing before it starts popping up and this and that. Oh my gosh, it's just so much to go through and process, but at the same time, it's a lot of fun to go through and discover what enemy goes through and is weak against what. And I'll tell you what, a lot of my time I'm just fucking meleeing, executing things, you know, because I finally get them going 1-2, and all of a sudden, okay, this guy's going. Then all of a sudden it's like, the main thing I try to look for is like I try to get out of the way like the weakest waves first, and then I progressively go through and focus on the next strongest thing that goes through and try to engages me, and then I go through the next strongest thing. So I try to get the annoying enemies out first before I try to focus on the big spider bots and this and that. Oh my gosh!
But there's that balance you're gonna find out too, where like there's that cannon fodder that you can kill with a couple shots and stuff like that. But it's like you might need them as the battle progresses. Like so like I'll make sure like the ones that can shoot flames at you, I'll knock those ones out. But there's like the little zombie ones that just kind of walk around that have to get close to the melee.
They're not so much of a threat, no.
No, but like I'm gonna keep those around because I might need ammo later, or I might need health later. It's like those are the guys I'm gonna need, like because like that's what I in the beginning. Because, like I said, in the first game, like, I'd almost never used I completely forgot I had a chainsaw for the most part of that game. Until, like, the last couple levels where I'm like, oh, shit, I need that. And so, like, now in this one, like, you have to have it. It's like, they've done a good job where they figured out, like, what people weren't using. It's like, well, now we're going to make you use this shit. And it's, like, almost like a punishment. It's like, oh, you guys didn't fucking use your shit last time? Well, we ain't taking it out. We're going to force you to fucking use it. And they're making me use it, and it's going really great. It's challenging as shit, but it's going really great.
Oh my gosh, Tyler. There is so much awesomeness, though, for just going through Doom Eternal. And I'm much looking forward to trying to play a bit more of this game, experience more of the weapons, more of the bosses and everything. It is an experience in and of itself. And to be perfectly honest, based upon how much I'm enjoying it, I could probably try to go through and try to play it again on another difficulty. Because it is definitely got that one more game type of feel. Huh.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And I'm playing on the second one. I think it's gonna hurt me plenty. Like it is hard. I'm dying a lot.
There's like 5
I'm trying to
difficulties.
Yeah, there's 5, and there's a 6th one where you play with the extra lives because there's like lives you can find now. So it's kind of cool.
Yep.
So you find them scattered at the level, and if you die at that point, you have extra life. You just respawn right there in the middle of the fight, which is great. So you don't have to restart the whole thing over again. But there's one, that if you die, you have to restart the whole level if you run out of lives.
Oh yeah.
So fuck that. I ain't doing that one. So.
Oh my god.
Yeah, even if you put it on easy, I ain't doing it. Fuck that. But yeah, they're good week for gaming. So that's been great. It kind of works out a little bit, you know. I mean, we got a little bit of we've had some good news, a lot of news over the last few weeks. Well, now we're kind of, it's flipping, which I'm fine with because I'd rather have Doom to play than a bunch of news to talk about.
Very true.
We'll start with the first thing. Most importantly, Fast Furious Crossroads probably getting delayed. Gables.
Aw.
Yeah. With the Fast Furious 9 getting delayed, that one hurts the soul the most of all. Because it got pushed out. It got pushed out from May to next April because of everything going on. They're saying the game might get delayed as well because they want to release it with the game, which that fucking sucks. I hope that doesn't happen because I need some Fast Furious in my life, Gables. Some new Fast Furious. Fucking love Fast Furious. So I just want to throw that out there. There's not really any reason for other than my personal thing. But moving on. So Gables, I don't know if you know this, but GameStop sucks.
I've known that for years. But, how much does it suck, Tyler?
Quite a bit. Quite a fucking bit. So pretty sure what's going on. They've rectified a little bit over the last 24 hours, but they're going through. They were not closing. They were not shortening hours. They were not letting people. They weren't offering people benefits to stay home or anything like that. There's a lot of business doing that. Don't get me wrong, but this is a gaming show. This is a gaming store. That's what we're talking about it.
Right.
But they weren't the employees were having to go buy their own like hand sanitizers and cleaning products because the store wasn't giving them enough to do what they needed to do or the right ones to clean everything. And then like California went to a stay at home, not just stay emergency, but it's like only essential stores need to be open, like grocery stores, things like that, like things that like restaurants that are doing carry out dining. Like if you have food, you can stay open, and banks. That's pretty much it, and daycares. And they were police were coming to the stores, trying to shut them down. They said no, we're not shutting down. Allegedly, we're like making hourly employees go and say no, we're essential business, we have to stay open. Really shitty going on, putting these people at risk. And come to find out, like there's a lot of kids that go there, and a lot of kids off that aren't at school right now. And like the fact that it took them so long, like they days later they decided like, oh, we're gonna turn demo units off. It's like that should have been one of the first fucking things you did. Turn off demo units. Like, hey, what's the things people are gonna touch the most? Fucking demo units. You know, I used to work at a game store, so I remember like every day around the time school got out in the weekdays, we had to go and unplug our demo units because kids would just come in and want to play the, whatever games we had every day. The same kids would come in, or even like, and there'd be like a line of kids want to just go fucking play the games for an hour or so before they went home. And so it's like I know a lot of fucking kids want to play the shit, and there's multiple them at Gamestops. So had that happen. Finally, they just yesterday, after a week of people trashing them and all the bullshit going on, and the state finally shut them down. The state of California actually had to go in and make them shut down. It wasn't they didn't decide; they were forced to. Now they've decided to. They're going to offer employees some PTO because they didn't get PTO at all either.
Right.
And then also now they're doing when you everything is going to be digital, mailed to your house, or if you go there, you have to pay for it in advance. And then go up and they'll like take it to your door, to your car door, or they walk out and they hand it to you at the doorway. So now they're no longer letting people come in, and like some stores were doing like only 10 customers at a time, shit like that. But this is just we were talking about this before the show, like with our own personal frustrations with things going on, like with other places that aren't gaming related. That this one hits for a gaming related podcast, this one hits really close. Yeah, it's frustrating. You're seeing this a lot more. It's like the greed of companies over the health, like the well-being of their customers, and more importantly, their fucking employees.
Exactly. It's absolutely ridiculous, especially with a company like GameStop, which fully knows they're this close. They are very close for that entire company folding. And what do they go through and try to spend things to do? They try to put their workers, the ones that have their livelihood, their blood, try to go through without any type of protection, negligent in terms of hand sanitizers or basic cleaning materials. Employees have to be forced to buy their own materials in order to disinfect things. And on top of that, they were actually going through and telling their associates to go through and convince police, no, we're an essential retailer, and try to give them freaking number to the corporate shit.
Yeah.
That in of itself is not in any type of human morality right in any way. That is complete greed, and that's complete bullshit, in which I'm very glad in the case for California, or actually in the case of Pennsylvania, or even in the case of everything else, when the police are going through and actually say, no, this shit has to be shut down now, and now all these different stores across the states are actually closed, and GameStop a day later after word got out that they're not closing their stores in that regards, and all the backlash against that because of that leaked conference call, which basically the higher ups were trying to explain to like the store leaders and stuff why, and not explaining anything. Because I heard this conference call, I listened to this conference call, this 40-minute dribble of them going in just dancing around the damn like subjects and stuff, not really answering anything, but pretty much scared a whole bunch of their store leaders and associates so bad that a lot of them went through and protested and quit in that regards in response. And so now after all this backlash, now after the actual state legislatives for places like Pennsylvania, California saw what GameStop is doing, in Philadelphia's case, took away their license in that state just to prevent this from going on. I'm glad that GameStop is shut down right now, because that's absolutely ridiculous. But GameStop being GameStop, they're doing one further. They're going through and having the options for people to have the games that they order online dropped off at their door. You know, in case of like their store associates that are, you know, not working right now, try to get them going into the public even more and try to get that stuff going. But at the same point, it's like inside of the general consensus around the United States and around the world right now, you don't want to be outside. You want to be inside because you're trying to keep away all this infected stuff with the whole like the virus and everything else that's going around. You know, it's like the last thing you need to do is be exposed or exposing yourself to different people if you're sick or if you can't go into work or in some, if it's a place of like value in terms, like say if you're serving people with food and you're sick, you stay home. There's no in between. It doesn't matter what your boss says. It doesn't matter what any type of like say corporate thing tells you otherwise. If you're sick and you know for a fact that people are getting sick and you are exposing them to certain things like that, you stay home regardless of that stuff. Oh my gosh. It just gets me all riled up a bit, but at the same time, it's like basic human morality. There's a lot of companies that don't have that. That's just how I feel about it.
No, and it's definitely, you're learning a lot about society and companies and stuff like that over the last week or so, and it's just it's frustrating. Like, it's like there's small businesses that like literally cannot afford to like, they're one of a kind stores.
Right.
Like, they're probably not going to be able to reopen their doors unless
right, and that's
they get help.
understandable.
It's like I understand like GameStop. It's the writing's on the wall. It's gonna be a blockbuster. It's gonna be the next blockbuster in the next 3 to 5 to 10 years. Like we know it's going away, but you're not gonna go away tomorrow. So it's like do what's best for everybody now. It's like, oh well, we fixed it now, but it's like too little, too late. It's like
exactly
the only reason you're doing this is because bad PR. Like that's the only reason you're doing it is like you're not doing this because you care. You're doing this because of money. And I get like everybody's in a rough position where they gotta find a way to not lose. You know, you gotta kind of you gotta find that buck. You gotta make sure you're still making something. I get that, like, but it's just fucking think about people. You know, it's frustrating.
Exactly.
It's like, if you don't need to go out, don't go out. You know, it's like these people work at a goddamn game store. They shouldn't have to go out. I'm not trying to undercut them and say they don't matter, but it's like, in times like this, like we love video games. We talk about video games every week, but it's like we don't. You know, it's like with digital gaming nowadays, it's like we'll be fine. You know, and I get that's probably what they're worried about. Is like we don't want everybody to go with digital gaming. It's like this is just going to speed up our demise, but it's just you gotta do what's best. And it's like I think that's what they've done in the last week is gonna hurt more than anything the coronavirus could have done to them.
Oh no shit.
Like I think that honestly that's my personal feeling. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's the way I feel. So yeah, it's frustrating. Yeah, it's like the economy is more important than people's lives is what it feels like going on lately when you listen to certain people talk. But moving on to some other news here. We might be seeing 3 new Call of Duty games over the next 12 months, Gables.
Oh God.
Well, 4 actually. If you include we just had Call of Duty Warzone just came out like last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
So stuff coming out. This is about the time of the year where the Call of Duty leaks all come out, and they're always right. So the new Call of Duty this year is going to be a Black Ops remake, not a remaster, but a kind of a reimagining, kind of like what Modern Warfare was this past year, where it's like we're rebooting the whole franchise. It's going to be it's been the Cold War era. We're going to use some of the same characters. The story's going to be somewhat the same, but it's going to be there's going to be some changes. We're going to get that. Modern Warfare 2 remaster is coming out over the next who knows when, but sometime this year is the plan. But this one won't be hidden behind a paywall where the original remaster of Modern Warfare was hidden. You had to buy the Ultra Edition, whatever, the $80 edition to get it. This one is going to be like its own individual thing. Who knows how much it's going to cost?
Probably $60.
I hope it's like, it should be 40 and just 40 and then put all the maps on it. Like it'd be ridiculous. And then there's going to be plans for another free-to-play Call of Duty game coming out next spring. So I don't know. Like you're not the biggest Call of Duty guy. I know that. I like to play the campaigns when they're good. You know. But I don't know. We keep talking about every year we talk about eventually Call of Duty. I've talked about at the beginning of this, like you look back the episode, like the first 10 episodes, I probably talked about how like Call of Duty is gonna be it's gonna be Madden. It's like it's gonna be a big deal when it comes out, but it's not gonna be like eventually it's not gonna be that big. Like the whole world stops. Like now we're talking about Call of Duty, and that's somewhat true. Like it's not the big event. Like when Call of Duty's come out, it was a fucking holiday for gaming, and it's not that so much anymore. It's still probably one of the bigger days of the year for gaming.
It's just another game release at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's bigger than all of them though. It's the biggest game of the year. Probably comes out almost every year still. Yep. You know, but it's always one of 2 or 3 high selling games every year. But yeah, it's not that national holiday that it used to be. So I don't know. I wondered like this feels like definitely we're at the point, like it's just crazy though. It's like we're talking about forever. Like eventually they're going to slow down a little bit. It's going to be like Madden used to be a big holiday, you know, but now it's like over the last 15 years or so, it's kind of turned to, it's a big game release, but it's not, you know, the biggest game release. Same with, you know, FIFA to a certain extent. But I'm wondering though, like at a certain point, like when do we get overkill? Like, you know, like people talk about 1 a year was too much. Now we're talking about getting 4 in 12 months. And we have 3 more still coming out possibly in the next 9, 10, 11 months. It's like, and especially like Warzone's not a big deal. It's free to play. And if you have Modern Warfare, that mode is in that game. So it's just like, hey, we're just taking this mode in the game. We're making it free to play. So that's not a big thing. But it's like now, not only we're getting the next big Call of Duty game, which sounds, I'm interested in. I love Black Ops. I love Modern Warfare 2, but I really like the original Modern Warfare. And I remember I went back and played it a few years ago when they remastered it. I'm just like, this doesn't hit the same way it did in, what was it, 2007?
Well, no, because back in 2007, Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, was a huge thing because it was that next game that quintessentially was a huge hit on Xbox Live that spewed a lot of people to go through and play concurrently. So years later, when the same game unleashes, it doesn't have the same impact because quintessentially it's now just another game that you can play online that's a military shooter that's been oversaturated for years. So it's like...
Yeah. And that's the Call of Duty 4 and Modern Warfare 2 were like, those were like game changers. And like, I don't know. I mean, it'd be cool to see if it comes out at a decent price. I'd like to check it out maybe. But yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's like, it's too much.
I'll tell you what.
I'm curious how it's going to go. Go ahead.
I'll tell you what. I'm more excited about Call of Duty Black Ops only because, for one, that's one of the few games that I actually went through inside of the Call of Duty and completed. I actually went through and played that game alongside World at War, and I believe that those are the only 2 Call of Duty games I think I've finished. But in terms of Black Ops and stuff, I'm more interested in seeing if they'll have all the DLC maps, including the whole like 4-player is where you get to face off against guys like, say, oh, wait a minute. I'm actually getting back some bits of memories here. There were some DLC packs for Black Ops, which I really enjoyed.
That was like the only one I ever bought all the DLC. That was the only one I bought the DLC.
I agree, because the DLCs were actually fun. There was the whole thing with zombie, like George Romero. That was one. And then the other one was the whole presidential things with Nixon, I think it was like McNamara, JFK, and Fidel Castro. With that zombie horde. That was the only reason why I still consider Black Ops to be one of my absolute favorite Call of Duty games, is because the main campaign was solid. I love the gameplay. I love the elements of the story and the whole things with the Cold War, actually with Vietnam, I think it was currently as well. But I absolutely love the DLC with that, where I had the option to go through with the waves, with a bunch of friends and stuff. Back in the old SG days, that's exactly what I did. I joined some games, played a bit of the waves and stuff for the whole spiritual presidential 4, with Nixon, McNamara, JFK, Fidel Castro, and stuff like that. And then when I wanted to go through and try to get more of the zombie modes, I played that George Romero map with playing as Buffy the Vampire Slayer and the dude that played the dude from Nightmare on Elm Street and this and that. It was that was a fun experience playing back then. And if it has that sort of same element where if it's a remaster of the original Black Ops and it has that DLC, I'd be more prone to buy that, because that's a bit of nostalgia, and that's going to create some bunch of fun times in my honest opinion.
Yeah, I love if they brought back some of those maps, because those are still some of the best maps to me. But yeah, that's what I'm curious, is because I love that Cold War era, and I Black Ops 2 was okay, 3 was, and 4 were just 4 had nothing to do with Black Ops. But shit happened. But 3 was just awful. So I don't know. I'm just curious how it's gonna go. Because Call of Duty is still very much I think even more so than ever is now more of that casual audience, gaming audience than it was back. Because that was a game that we all bought just because all our friends had it. And I was we want to play with the friends. We had to buy this game. That's not the case so much anymore. Now there's a million games that come out. There's always a game that we can probably find and we can play with each other. God. So I feel so I'm wondering how much of that more of that casual audience that hardcore casual Call of Duty audience. I don't know how you want to put it, but I think everybody gets what I'm trying to say. But I'm curious, like, how much are they willing to put out to, like, I think they're going to sell great because it's a new Call of Duty game, and everybody looks at Modern Warfare 2 with rose-colored glasses for good reasons. But I mean, there's a reason why it's considered one of the greatest games of all time. But yeah, I think they'll sell great. But I'm wondering, like, how this will, depending on price points, how this is going to affect the future of this franchise, especially if we get another Call of Duty free-to-play game next year.
I'll be perfectly honest with you. I kind of feel like it's going to definitely be a positive in terms of sales-wise, but in terms of fatigue, it's going to be the point with some people that it's way too much Call of Duty in 1 year, where it's going to be fatiguing those that are longtime fans, in my personal opinion.
Well, and gaming audiences, like with all the big online games that come out, like gaming audiences are split now more than ever. Oh yeah. So now it's like you're splitting your own audience up more. So I'm curious how it's going to go. I mean, maybe they have a good sized audience, they can sustain that. I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see. But moving on to next topic here. So we spent a lot of time last week talking about the Silent Hill rumors where Konami and PlayStation are working together about either buying the franchises outright or at least working together so they can make the next Silent Hill game, blah, blah, things like that. Came out today. Konami came out and said these are absolutely not true. So pretty disappointing, obviously, because like we like a lot of us, including you and I, we went crazy. It's like, imagine if Kojima could make a Metal Gear game. Like we all went like crazy. We went more than just Silent Hill. It's like, imagine if these people can make this game. So it's I don't know how much more to say other than it sucks. Like you get your hopes up for the first time in a long time, and it's like, fuck. It's like, damn it. It's like you saw hope, you felt hope, and it's gone. And who knows? Maybe I'm still in that part where maybe it's not over. Like it took me a long time to get over. Maybe it's not over with after Metal Gear Solid 5 and after PT got canceled or the Silent Hills got canceled. Yeah. And now I have that in my head. Like for the last few years, like it's over. It's never happening. But now it's still in my head now again. Like, well, maybe it can still happen. Maybe this fake rumor has spawned that maybe these talks will happen. And I have that in my head, and I know I shouldn't, but I can't help it.
I'll tell you what. It's only regarded just the one last thing, and that's fuck Konami.
Yeah, definitely fuck Konami. Yeah, Konami sucks. But moving on to, I think we'll make this our last one. Okay. But I don't know. The Nintendo Nindies, we talked about the rumor last week. There's going to be a Nintendo Nindies on March 18th, ended up being one on the 17th. There's supposed to be another big direct this week sometime, but it's Tuesday of this recording. So you got to think tomorrow's the last day for them to probably announce a direct before they won't happen this week. But I still think it's going to happen. But yeah, the Nindies event happened. What'd you think of it? Did anything come out of that you were curious about?
Well, to be perfectly honest, there wasn't really anything too eventful that I saw. I mean, Hello Games did showcase a game that they were working on that was kind of interesting, but at the same point, there really wasn't a lot of big showcase announcements, like in terms of, say, for indie games, most wise. I mean, this time last year, we got the reveal of Cuphead inside of coming to Switch, but for this year,
Cadence of Hyrule.
Cadence of Hyrule as well. Good point. But for this year, we basically got this indie project that Hello Games, the creators of No Man's Sky, were working on. Plus, we got the whole sequel to Enter the Gungeon called Exit the Gungeon, which is released now on the eShop, and it's only like $10. So it's like. On top of that, though, it's like there's just a lot of projects that it just did not sit well with me. Honestly, I did not really spark any interest in me wanting to go through and play them.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Where you talk about the Cuphead coming was a big deal. It was kind of leaked earlier, but it was still cool to see. The Cadence of Hyrule, that was really exciting, and then there was Creature of the Wild that came out of it, and I was like, that was the big game that came out for me. And this one, it's every year there's usually they've only done I think they're 3 or 4 of these. And every year there's 1 or 2 that stand out to me. I think that's the point. They show off 25, 30 games. It's like, we want a couple to stick out to you. And that's usually the case. Usually 2 or 3, I'm like, I want to check those out. And, this past one, I'm just like, Baldo looks kind of cool. It's like that Zelda-esque style game. There's one, the name spaces me. There's one that looks like the platforming of a Mario 3D game, but the combat of more of a Link's Awakening style.
Right.
I'm like, that looks like I can't. It's fucking it was like the first game shown too. I can't remember what it's called, but I'm like, that game looks like it could be cool. But like nothing, there wasn't that big thing that came out. Like X is the Gungan came out, like that looks. I shouldn't say it looks cool to me, but like that's a big deal I think for a lot of people. But yeah, I was just like, I came out of it, I was like, yeah, that's fine. But I it's to each his own, because I think there's probably a lot of people that came out that thought there was a lot of great games out of it. And I hope that's the case, because like I love that these things happen. I want these to keep happening. I wish we got more of these kind of events, because there's a lot. We've seen there's more games released now than ever, and I think a lot more great games come out more than ever. But it seems like we're kind of losing that middle, a lot that lower. I don't want to say lower tier, but you know what I mean, like that lower and the lower budget games. I feel like those games are going away more and more so, and now they're like the bigger indie games are now like kind of knocking down the what they were before. Like you look like the Limbo when those guys when Play Dead comes out the game, it's like that's a fucking big ordeal. That's bigger than an indie game. And it's like they were just a small fry guy that got a break and they became huge. Yeah, it's like it feels like they're like their own echelons of indie games, and it's like everybody else is down here. And I hope that we can kind of find that middle ground again. We can bring some other people up, because you don't see that too much anymore. I feel like we're
Not
losing
really.
that. So yeah, I don't know. Not coming out of that. But like yeah, I don't know. Is anything else before we get out here, Gables? You want to talk about?
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, I don't have really anything more to share. Just kind of a reiteration of what I was saying before, where it's like interested in doing little bits of speed running here and there. Not quite 100% sure what I want to go into, but at the same point, just want to kind of like throw it out there that I do have a Twitch channel at Colonel Gables and stuff that I haven't really done any much of streaming throughout this year so far, but due to circumstances and stuff like that, I could be being on there a little bit more often, because I want to showcase people that I do play little bits of like games other than Animal Crossing or Doom Eternal and stuff. Hell, maybe you'll see me go through and try to speedrun attempt games. Everything is open right now, is what I'm saying. There's different projects, there's different things I want to attempt. So I'm basically at the point where I want to toss things against the wall and see what sticks. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's cool, man. So check them out. I'm just gonna be playing a lot more Doom in my pajamas.
There you go.
Than I originally intended to, which is fine. Stay inside. Be safe, guys. Don't leave the house when you have to. Obviously, key things everybody's saying, but we're here. You're not gonna be able to escape it. Thank you guys so much for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. If you want to hear more from us, we have a Facebook page and group, Drunk Dash Nerds, on there. On Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, Spotify. Check us all out, Drunk Dash Nerds Podcast. Follow, subscribe, 5 stars, thumbs ups, whatever you got to do. Leave comments, blah, blah, on from there. Check us out in all those places. More likely, if you do that, tell people about us, more likely is that people can see us and more downloads we get. So really appreciate if you go check us out in all those places. Until next time, I was your host, I was Tyler.
And I have been Colonel Gables, so until next time, everyone, I hope you guys stay safe, hope you guys wash your hands and do whatever it is to keep yourself happy and healthy. And to be perfectly honest, to be quite honest with everybody, at the end of the day, thank you for everybody for listening to our latest episode of the Drunk Dash Nerds podcast.
Yeah, and be good to each other.
Yeah.
Well. Be good. Don't take all the toilet paper. Don't be a dick.
Yeah.
But, Gables.
Yeah.
Social distancing, too sweet.
Social distancing, too sweet.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
Excuse me. You too many beers there. Anyways, we're on iTunes now, so go on there, check us out, and if you like us, leave us a review, and we'll even shout you out. And Jack will send you his credit card number.